So in this video we're actually going to be putting a few items inside of this building. I have just clicked on the roof and switched it off so that we can actually see inside of it. Okay, so if we go over to our project now, we obviously have our props folder. If we go to prefabs and props, we've got all sorts of items that we can now put inside of this building. First one that I want to have a look at is the furniture, and let's see what we can use. We've got large table. I like this table wooden actually, so if I just drag this in, yeah, I kind of like this kind of table. So it's the kind of table that you might have inside of it, like a bar or something. So I'm just going to quickly set one of these up. So I also need a small chair to go with it. I might have one of these chair wooden. There we go, and that goes together nicely with that. I might maybe have 4, so 2 on either side. Okay, so just take this, Control and D, it puts it all the way down at the bottom now. Let's put this on this side. Take my chair wooden, drag it all the way down to the bottom if I can. Make sure it's way below that one. Don't parent it to it or anything. There we go. So now we've got both of them. Alt Shift, Control and D, and then I can just put them on the other side as well. Great. Let's take our table wooden, drag this down. So again, just put it just above this. Oh, I think I've parented it to something which I shouldn't have. There we go. Okay, now I can take all these chairs and I can actually just well, first of all I need to make sure they are on the floor. So to do this with our grids, I'm going to switch this back on again. Okay, and I'm simply just going to press this button which snaps all selected objects to the grid, and it's going to make sure that they're firmly on the ground. Okay, they're not through the ground or anything. Going to do the same thing with the table. Make sure it's selected, click on this button, and that will make sure it's firmly on the grid. Okay, now I'll take my chairs and just drag those onto the table so it's all one piece now, and I can put multiple ones of these in there. So I'm just going to switch this off so that I can manually put this wherever I like. Control and Z, make sure I'm clicking on the entire table, and obviously we can just move this around as needed. Okay, so I might just have another one over here, Control and D. Let's put one over here, like this. Just wondering if those chairs are the wrong way around, but anyway, should be fine. Gonna duplicate again and put one. Might put one over in this corner if it will fit in. Put it here like this maybe, and for this one I might actually just get rid of those 2 chairs on the outside there. So let me just click on those and just delete those, so in that way I can then take that and just move it closer to the wall there. Hopefully my character will have enough room to actually get through there. Perhaps on this side I could have some sort of a cabinet. Let's see what we've got. This looks kind of interesting, and if I just rotate that around, so just hold Control to snap, yeah, that looks quite nice actually. Let's put it over in the corner there. Now you will notice that we've got a candle in here, and as part of this candle I'm presuming that there's some kind of a light source. We've got an orange light. Now it's okay to have lights in your scene, but you definitely do not want too many lights, and we will notice that this light its mode is mixed, so it's both real-time and baked at the same time. It can cause an issue when you have too many lights. Okay, so I'm just going to right click on candlestick, prefab, nope, not prefab. I wanted to break the prefab, but it's not letting me. Okay, I'll click on draw preset then, prefab, there we go, unpack completely, and I'm just going to get rid of that orange light. Okay, We do have some flames coming off there. We can put in our own light when we need it later. The books and everything look pretty good. These are the draw preset items, so you will notice if I switch those off, it switches the books, this item and the other one off as well. Yeah, alright, I think that looks quite nice. So I'm going to click on there, switch this back on, make sure I drop it down to the thing, and it's not quite dropped down. So I want to click on the move down and drop, and it will automatically drop onto the floor. Okay, switch that off, move it back. There we go. Alright, we've got a nice bit of furniture going on there. Now we probably need somewhere for the guy to be serving people, so some kind of a bar area. Might have that over here. So let me see what else we've got actually. Yeah, it's all in furniture, I think. Okay, so we do have a little wooden bench, but I might have to just use this table again, I think. So, no, maybe not. I'll delete that one, and I think I will go with this wooden bench. Bring this up. I'm going to rotate this around. Okay, and for this one I actually just want to scale this up a little bit. Currently its scale on the Y is 1.2. If I can scale it up on the Y, let's see if I can do that. So 1.8, and then that makes it a much taller kind of thing, almost like it's a bar or something. Now let me just switch this on, drop it down to the ground. I might just have to drop. There we go. Alright, drops onto the ground now. Switch this off so that I'm no longer snapping. I'm wondering if maybe I should put two of these together. Control and D. Yep, okay. And where's my bench wooden? Let me drag this way down to the bottom here. Just take both of these and just move those forward just a little bit, because I want that big cabinet behind here. Just one of these kind of empty cabinets. I wonder if I've got one that has like just glasses in it. Let me have a look. It's got a bunch of books and stuff. Interesting. Now obviously you can create your own, so you can put your own items in there. That looks better. I'll use that one. Okay, once again I'm just going to drag this up, switch this on, drop it down to the grid, and yeah, it should be firmly on the ground now. It's looking good. Alright, don't worry about the fact that it's slightly over the top of the roof area. It won't be sticking through the roof. Alright, I might just drag that out just a little bit so it's not too close to the wall. And I might put another one over this side. So Control and D. And just put one over here as well. And then have like a barkeep behind there who you can presumably talk to. Yeah. Okay, I think that's nice. Maybe they want something to read or something, so I might put a bookcase in there. Find one with like lots of books in it. That's the one. So let's just drag this in, rotate it around, make sure it's exactly -90 or whatever you're setting it to. And then I'm just going to move this forwards, move it up, and then switch this on, snap down to the grid, switch it back off again. Great. Just going to move this way and then just back toward the wall a little bit. Okay, great. We may also be putting some rugs down here as well, and we do also need some items to actually go on the tables, you know, like little glasses or tankards or something, and maybe also some kind of food, but we'll do that shortly. We need a way to actually get into the building. Now if I click on the door and try and rotate this, I'm just going to change my rotation to pivot. You'll notice that the pivot is actually right in the center of the door, which is not too useful. So I'm going to do Control and Z to undo that. However, we do have Pro Builder, which is really useful for this. So if I go to Pro Builder, and as long as I've got the door selected, I can actually Pro Builderize that object. So it creates a Pro Builder modifiable object from that mesh. So if I click that, it will then turn it into an actual mesh that I can now manipulate. If I go to Vertex Selection, click on this bottom vertex on the bottom right there, I'm going to choose Set Pivot. Alright, so now if I go to Object Mode, make sure that you are on pivot, I can now open the door perfectly, alright, from that angle. Yep, so I'll have this open to begin with basically. I might also open the door on the other side as well. So once again, we just need to set the pivot on this. So let me just click the object, Pro Builderize it, go to Vertex Selection, click on the vertex, set that as the pivot, back to object mode, and now I can open it. There we go. Alright, excellent. And if I switch my roof back on, so everything's hidden nicely on the inside. Okay, excellent. Now when we enter the building, there will be a script that will instantly switch off the roof so that we can see inside. Our character will wander around, but we only want these objects to switch on when we actually enter the building. So let me take these items at the top and just drag those onto the pub bar. Okay, I want to take these items as well. Drag. In fact, first of all, I'll just create a new empty object. And I'll call this props. Very much like the roof, we can switch everything off with this one object. So now I can take my bench wooden all the way down to draw preset, drag that onto props. I can now take all these items on the bottom, I can drag those onto props. It's all parented, so now I can just click on props and switch everything off all in one go. So now with a script we can simply just switch everything on or off. Alright, which makes things so much easier. And if we switch back on our roof now, there we go. Alright, we've now got everything set up. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm adding this back to the original prefab. So I'm going to Assets, to Medieval House Prefab, where we've got our pub bar, click and drag over that and it will update it. So if I switch this one off now and drag in a new one, you'll notice it will have that props right there. I can just switch off my roof and all the props are still in there. At any point you can then break that prefab and you can go into the props and you can move these around, you can change these, you can get rid of them. It's entirely up to you. Okay, but yeah, we've now got a building that we can actually explore and go into.